Hello, welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of Wish I Was Here. If you haven't heard about this movie, it's Zach Braff's latest attempt at directing. I'm pretty sure he also wrote and produced and had a huge part in the whole film. And if you didn't know, they didn't have the financing for this film. So much like the film earlier this year, Veronica Mars, they used Kickstarter to get fans to donate to help make the budget for the film. It's been very controversial if, these big Hollywood stars and companies and movie production should be asking fans to fund their movies. But I digress. We're here to talk about, was it worth it? Was all of that hard-earned money that average everyday people donated to get this film made worth what they were delivered? I will say yes, and I've noticed a lot of other critics are saying no. So, what did I like about it that maybe the others didn't? Say what you will about Zach Braff, but I thought the acting in this movie was actually really well done. He knows how to cast himself in a role that fits him very well. And I thought Kate Hudson did her job well, Josh Gad's was good, everybody was good. And there are also some fun little cameos that I really enjoyed throughout the movie. So overall, the acting cast is what really makes the movie. And I think when they're allowed to just have those personal moments with each other, when it's about the people, their connections, and their relationships, I think the movie really excels. It's really interesting, and it's really fun to be a part of. You get swept up in the entire feeling of the film, when the actors are just allowed to be with one another and develop that relationship, build these characters. And with that, I think it does have a very high level of charm. I think it's charming, and I thought it was a fun, sweet ride to go along with these characters. And again, a big part of that is to the acting, but I thought the writing was pretty well done for the most part. There was no glaring, like, oh, my ears are cringing from having to listen to this writing. And I thought the direction was done well as well. He knew exactly what he wanted to go for, and I think he accomplished it for the most part. He did accomplish a somewhat whimsical, charming tale. And I think it is what it is. Doesn't give off pretense to be something that it's not. And I think it succeeds in delivering what it says it wants to succeed. But it is definitely not a perfect movie, and I do understand why others are not quite enjoying it like I enjoyed it. I think overall it's too much of an idealist movie. It's too idealistic throughout the whole thing. I think we don't really touch on deeper issues. Sometimes they're introduced, but either they don't get a resolution, or it's a cheap resolution. It's a cop-out. There are a lot of loose ends that are just tidily swept up at the end. So it's one of those where a lot of conveniences happen. Everything is tied into a perfect box, and that's that, and that's how we're left. And I wish it would have either presented more questions or delved deeper. So erased some of the issues, because there were so many issues throughout the film. That is one thing. There's so many issues that just take some of those out so that you can really delve into the core ones. And as I said, allow your characters to do that. Allow them to do the heavy lifting that I think they were doing really well at throughout the film. But why I say it's too idealistic, even though there are a lot of, problems on these characters' shoulders, is that tidy ending makes it all just okay. So there's a bunch of problems throughout the film. We're presented with a bunch of things, and our main character, has his faults, plenty of his own faults. But he's made to seem like such an amazing guy, and, everything works out, no matter if you don't work for it, or, no matter what you do, basically. And I think that's too idealistic of an approach. And overall, I think the movie was a little bit too long. So it moved a little bit slow, and it could have definitely had a quicker pace to it at times. I went with somebody else, and they thought it was a little too long. So they weren't into it, again, as much as I was. As a lot of people are not into it as much as I've been. So, would I recommend Wish I Was Here? Overall, to me, this story was very relatable. And I think a lot of people within my generation, my age group, or in similar situations, will also find this story relatable and something that you can impose yourself into, even if you're nowhere near the life scenario that, Zach Braff's character is in. I was still able to kind of interject myself in there, and it spoke to me. So I would say yes, I recommend it. Definitely, this is not a must-see in theaters kind of movie. You can wait till it comes to Redbox or on demand or however you choose to see it cheaper and see it at home. But I think if you're looking for a more intimate fare in the theater right now and you still want that theater-going experience, Wish I Was Here is definitely a fun time at the theater. It'll sweep you up, I think. So, that is my review of Wish I Was Here. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't be afraid to go ahead and subscribe down below. So, thank you so much for watching. Mwah! Love you for supporting me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.